this could be interesting to see. This is the first matchup is going to be really crucial to who can take it further. But without further ado, we have a game on our hands here. We see Joster here opening up his Paladin hand and Tempo, drawing some of the key cards you want early here with the Town Crier and the Clockwork Goblin.
I'm really not worried, though. You know, you mentioned that it is really difficult to pilot the OTK Paladin, because it is. It takes a high level of skill, but I'm not worried about that. Knowing that Joster has some pretty significant accomplishments under their belt. We saw a lot of them in 2016 and 2017 at the America Spring Championships. They did place, third or fourth. They placed top 4 in 2016, and then they were 54th in 2017. And they have a couple of Vegas tops that haven't qualified yet. But I think Joster is definitely one of those players that, if it's anybody that can pilot this, it's going to be him.
Yeah, and as we said earlier, there is a long road to get to this offline final here at the Esports Arena in Santa Ana. And he has beaten a lot of good other players here.
Yes.
Qualifying together with his countryman, Terrence M. And it's been a long road to go ahead, but it's finally coming to a conclusion before China, that is.
You can see Tempo kind of giving the greeting to the new buffed card that we get to see here in Joster's deck. Crystology, now 1 mana only, like we talked about before, and it was able to draw a Novice Engineer as well as the Elven Archer. So this is a really good place for Joster to be in. Yeah,
for Joster's sake, he has a lot of the card draw. He has now with the Crystology, he got the Novice Engineer, he got like the Acolyte of Pain, he got the Prismatic Lens, and he got like a lot of the things to get through his deck. And that's one of the ways you can actually win also versus Warrior. If you just go through your deck before they can actually tempo out bombs. The problem is Warrior has 2 game plans basically versus this Paladin. One is just, kill them with bombs, which is like the natural game plan of a Bomb Warrior. The second way you can win is just armor out of range, because they have 25 damage burst in 2 stints, so it's 50 in total with some weapons, with some consecration, but not much more over 50. And we've seen Warriors before go much higher than 50 total health.
Yes, we have. A little bit unlucky though for Empanizato in that first round that we just casted. Didn't quite see that armor generation that I think we can characteristically see of
but we saw him
at
the point there he had more than 20 armor.
That is
true.
Just
with like blast shield and stuff like that. Yeah. So there is possibility to just armor out of range here for Tempo. But currently now Joster though is just going through the notion and drawing through most of his decks, because currently there's no bombs in his deck, so he's safe. No 5 damage to face is coming anytime soon.
No, and thinking right now about using the Elven Archer just to completely deal with the Town Crier here.
Yeah, dealing with the Town Crier and also putting up some tempo.
Or just get a card. Getting
just
a card is good
too.
Too. That really does maximize the value that you're getting from the Acolyte of Pain as well. So I really like that play.
Yeah, and the thing is also, like, these 1/1s doesn't do much for the Warrior. He doesn't care that much, but the thing is that they need to get removed some way or another, because they chip down your armor, so you're never getting to the armor total you really want here.
He has double Warpath in hand right now. If you're looking at Tempo's hand, doesn't feel super good though. I think to use that this early.
No, I think it feels that like Warpath has very little value in this matchup as well, due to the fact that there's almost no minions being played.
Yeah.
And when they get played, you just they are really small, and if it's a big one, it's Shrivala, and then you get 25 to face anyways. And then Warpath doesn't do much. Going with just getting as many armor ups in as possible here instead of developing something like a Militia Commander. But he has his game plan set out to basically be able to later just go with shuffling in as many bombs as possible to try to finish it off. He is running double Elec in his list as well, so we can end up having actually used both all 3 dices here to just really count all the bombs that might be.
Yeah, we brought dice to the table today for this cast, so we could keep track of all of these bombs a little bit easier. Haven't had to do that yet though, because Tempo has yet to play a card that is actually going to add those bombs to Joster's deck. But at this point in time, I feel like Joster's play here is just trying to eat away at as much of the armor as possible, and Tempo's trying to make sure that he can keep some of that. You got shield block, you did just draw a Turnium Rover. That'll help a little bit here.
Yeah.
But board presence is still important for the Warrior.
Yeah, because, you're not afraid to die. You're just afraid to not get the armor you need. And up to 37 again here. Picking up the Soup Vendor also. The Soup Vendor is a new addition to this deck as well. Like in the early Shivala builds, there were that was like a card no one thought about because it's a bit weird. It's a 2 mana. And
it is weird.
2 mana, not very well statted, but it gives you cards when you heal. And what this card can, what this deck can do, Shivala Paladin, it's heal actually quite a lot. So
it has a lot of healing potential. That's absolutely true. Haven't seen any of those right now.
Yeah, and currently you can't really heal because you're at 30 health, so it doesn't really matter. Sitting here now, Joster now, he has 2 Prismatic Lens, so he has the opportunity to actually go off and get some more card draw going. But he needs to be careful with filling up his hand size as well, because the problem is...
He'll overdraw if he uses Prismatic Lens and can't put something down.
And that's the problem as well with this Acolyte as well. We've seen it also in other tournaments, like burning the Shivala, you just instant concede. It's just right straight down in the right corner there, because you have nothing to do.
Absolutely.
So emptying out his hand here with like these tools like Pyromancer is not that important versus the Warrior, because, well, at least how Tempo plays it, because Tempo plays not Tempo.
Yeah.
He's just basically sitting back and playing this as a control warrior.
Well, Pyromancer as well, you really don't want to get into a situation where you're feeding armor to the warrior, because you do have Eternium Rover that if you get maximum value from, that's additional 6 armor, and there are other cards in the deck as well that chip damage really doesn't do anything except help the warrior.
So emptying out a little bit of hand, also putting up a total of 6 damage on board, meaning Tempo is on a -3 each turn with the hero power. So he needs to start thinking if he needs to go against this and need to clear off some of this board. Eternium Rover getting played here now with this Warpath to just gain a bunch of armor, killing off some minions.
This is a good Warpath for sure. So I really like that Tempo held on to it for this reason.
Yeah, getting as much armor as you can from the Eternium Rover. It seems like Tempo just have found his game plan here. It's not killing him with bombs. That can also, of course, occur, but currently with no bomb cards in hand. But the other thing, since he had the Eternium Rover, he just pressed the hero power button every turn. Just get to like 55, 60 health. So you're super safe.
Yeah, you definitely have to play the Bomb Warrior much differently against the OTK Paladin, especially because you do have that 50 damage threat at the end game that you really want to avoid here.
So seeing here now, though, you want to draw even more. There's still a bunch of cards left in Joster's deck, and you would love to see like something that he can empty out without being horrible. Like playing this Consecration here isn't that absurd, because it just, well, it deals with the Eternium Rover, you get to push 1 with the Soup Vendor, and you get the card out of your hand. But starting with the Crystology here, drawing out a couple of more minions. That's a Novice Engineer and a Blood Mage Talnos, which is 2 more draw cards. And
well, that's the best thing about Crystology, is that the chances that you're going to get to draw your draw engines is huge.
Yeah.
So basically, Crystology just helps you pull through your deck faster. It's very,
there's very few cards that is one attack in this deck that is not a draw. You have like Elven Archer, and you have the Crystal Smith Kangar. The rest is draw stuff. So you will hit more draw almost every time. So
it's really consistent. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah. 1 mana, draw 2 that tutors. Should be pretty good. We just saw Raiding Party nerf. This card might just get nerfed again if it's becoming too oppressive here. But the Darius Crowley coming out here now. A 6/5 on board, and Tempo is really putting on some pressure here for versus Joster. You have more options though to draw.
To clear it though, that's the big question here.
Yeah, using an equality on this, and then with the flash of light just to heal back up after you hit with the, it's not perfect.
Not perfect, but you can also, like, as the OTK Paladin, you can take that 6 damage to the face.
Yeah, of course. You have the healing potential to heal up a lot more here. The other problem is, like, your hand is full, and 2 of the cards you have in hand, like the minions, they draw. The Prismatic Lens, they draw, and you have like stuff like timeouts and stuff like that. And timeouts is really, really good card, and it's necessary to have in this deck. But the problem is, you don't want timeout all the time. You want timeout. The most perfect is like you draw it every time you need it, because just clunking up your hand at the moment too. If this was other cards that could be used, something like a Hammer of Wrath or something like that, just get them out of the hand and get further in. And yeah, playing this timeout now, and not because he's afraid of this 6 damage or anything like that. It's just basically he needs to empty out this hand space. So getting here for tempo though, there's no bomb cards except that Clockwork Goblin that's been there since Mulligan.
We talked about this though. I don't think that the play for tempo is really to win by bombs, but unfortunately for that Darius Crowley,
yeah, tempo is just pressing that hero power button. He's up to 42 health now. He's 8 health away from the threshold of Holy Wrath. Joster, on the other hand, has picked up the Shirvala, so that's one less card that's not going to get burned here.
An easy clear here, though. You do have that second Wild Pyromancer, and you have a quality now, too.
Yes, you have the opportunity to just clear, get some junk out of your hand, and be able to maybe draw some more with like a Flash of Light or something later.
And devalue that Shirvala.
Yeah. The Shirvala is still at 16 mana, so there's still some way to go before it's playable. Like, these 2 Prismatic Lens needs to be played.
Yeah, it's gonna have to wait though.
Yeah, because the hand is full and you need to empty it. So
you have to take care of the threats on board.
Yeah, 8 damage is starting to get into the dangerous territory where they can like 8 damage is a 4-turn clock, and with the bomb it's a 3-turn clock, so you need to really step it up and consider removing in it. Wild Pyromancer. No, Equality, Wild Pyromancer, then into Flash of Light just to be able to draw a card, clear off the board. That's a second Flash of Light as well, being able to draw even more if you want that. Cheval is down to 10 now, meaning it's in playable state very soon. Archivist Elysiana coming down to hand. Probably not an important card going forward, especially in Tempo's hand. He has no Dr. Boom. He has none of the like the Wrench Calibers or Augmented Alex. So this Archivist Elysiana will stay in hand for a long time.
It could be good if we get into a really interesting late game situation here. But you still have a lot of ways right now to pump up that armor.
Yeah, continuing pumping that armor up. Like, you press that button every turn that you can. So going up to 34 next turn if you want. Eternium Rover as well could be played for another 6 additional armor, basically giving you the magical 50 health. That basically means that Double Hold Wrath kills you, but every armor over this just keeps on adding on. The weapon, though, will be able to push for more, but there is more armor gain in the warrior list here. Oh, going for the draw plus armor gain as well with Warpath there is also really good here. Getting some more stuff in hand. You want to see like stuff like LX and Wrench Calibers now. You know the Paladin doesn't run any form of like weapon removal and stuff like that, meaning that the Wrench Caliber will always get like full value. Crystal Smith Kangor is picked up. But does that mean what I think it means? That means that Prismatic Lens will now only pick up 1 card. No, this will always pick up Baleful Banker, meaning the Baleful Bankers will be more expensive. The 4-mana Baleful Banker is still good. The thing is that you can't shuffle in double Shirvala then, but you can still shuffle in 1 the turn you do Holy Wrath, but then you have to do the 25 back-to-back.
You had to use Prismatic Guns at some point, though.
Yeah, but you're sitting now, though, with still the same problem with the hand size. Like, full hand, lots of stuff you can play, but not necessarily need to play. Like, playing the Consecration here is probably completely fine. It negates the arm, or it kills the board, and it gets 1 card out of the hand, but you need to start getting to the bottom of the deck very soon.
Yeah, you gotta mitigate some of that armor gain here, so I think it's really smart that Joster's gonna go ahead and use the last durability of the weapon in order to clear out 6 armor this turn.
Yeah, and he only plays 1 True Silver Champion as well, so that's done with direct damage like that. He has 1 Hammer of Wrath as well for more direct damage. And that's a shield block being picked up, putting him back up to 47 here. With his Omega Assembly as well, getting some more mechs in hand could be possible. Maybe possibly even a Clockwork Goblin or something similar like that to even have more bombs if so want to. He's also seen some of the healing, like the Flash of Light going out, just with draw cards, meaning that these bombs are even more effective. That's the second Clockwork Goblin though. That means you have 10 damage in hand for whenever the deck empties out. And here comes a Replicating Menace as well with another hero power, putting him up to 49 health.
Close to that threshold. Very, very close.
That's the Shrink Ray coming out. But the deck is getting thin though from Joster's side here. There's not much left.
Joster's definitely getting to a point where he's going to be able to do the OTK business, but
oh, he needs to do it over 2 turns, but yeah, he's able to. He's getting to the point where he can kill his opponent pretty fast. Problem is that he is also afraid. Like the warrior is at 10 mana. And 10 mana means that he can shuffle in a bunch of bombs, and even like if he get his tempo pickups a range caliber now, he can actually do like a Elec hit with range caliber, double Clockwork Goblin to just give a huge turn with lots of damage there. Drawing the last Baleful Banker as well. Both are at 4 mana, meaning they're a little bit clunky to play. But since you're doing the Shivala over 2 turns anyway, with like Shivala for free, Baleful Banker, and then Holy Wrath Face, which is 9 mana total, it will work. But the thing is, when it's on 2 mana, you can do it with timeouts and weaved in as well.
I think Tempo is doing an excellent job right now too, holding on to all of the bomb mechanics in his hand right now to ensure that damage goes.
That's the Wrench Caliber though.
Yeah, this is going to be a great turn here for Tempo.
Like getting rid of his Kangor is super important there. Along with playing this Wrench Caliber, meaning he can put 3 bombs in deck with the Clockwork Goblin and the second hit there. Also, that means that with this, an Elec draw, for instance, means that you can shuffle in a total of 6 bombs, meaning, well, what's that mean? That's 30 damage just from bombs here.
That's game, yeah. Especially because Joster really at this point in time really only wants to shuffle Shivala in. These bombs are definitely going to hit. Unfortunate though, you know, Joster is sitting at a 10-card hand, so you saw Tempo get a little bit surprised there by the fact that that bomb did get burned. Still does have that 6 bomb play though if the Elec is drawn. And we haven't seen an Elec yet.
No, and there's 2 in the list. So for Joster, no. He can go with the first thing. He needs to go soon as well, due to, well, you can also die to just fatigue because, well, you're taking fatigue damage now. Shivala coming down, Baleful Banker, first hit now. And you basically just have to pray that there's no Elec.
Yeah.
And for Tempo's sake, he knows that he's dead unless he draws this Elec.
Yeah, he has to draw the Elec. That's really the only option right now.
So where do you put that damage? He even hit, yeah, he just hits there because he knows this doesn't change the math that much. It's the Elec or bust. Right here, right now. That's not an Omega Assembly. That's not an Elec. What could even be done? Like this Celiax heals you up a little bit. It heals you above 25 though. It actually does. With the armor up.
He has enough damage from in-hand.
Because the Celiax heals 4, and then you armor up, so you're 26. So you're just alive.
Yeah, so you can clear board here, but it does make it really difficult because you do have.
Thing is, yeah, Tempo survives now with this. Oh, he does it like this, yeah, perfectly. Heals up 6, puts him up to 25, armors up to 27. In the end, that's game. There's very little Joster can do. He's starting to take fatigue damage here now. I'm out of cards. He needs to find more damage. And what more damage is there in his deck? There's nothing. There's like this 25 burst, but your opponent's at 27, meaning they're alive.
And I don't think there's any way at the moment to...
Well, of course, it's building up the board like this, and then hope your opponent doesn't have any way of clearing it. That's like your only option.
Can at least clear out the Clockwork Goblin, so it's not over yet, but this is still...
That's a big misplay as well, though. He should have hit before doing it, because it would heal to 32. Yeah, well, he lost a little bit of damage there. Playing the second Cheval as well.
You almost have to.
Yeah, just putting up the board. Basically, for tempo's sake, he has to clear this or he's dead. So... seeing it going forward here, how...
Still not Nellic. Dynamatic will help a little bit here to at least clear the board. Might at least save Tempo from using the Brawl that's in hand right now, but looks like it is going to be the Brawl that hits first.
Yeah, the Brawl and the Dynamatic cleans up whatever is left here. Yeah, like the Shivala, perfect. That's problem is you can't armor up, but there's no more damage in Joster's hand. There's Celiacs that can't go face at the moment. There's timeout to survive one extra turn. Equality and Shrink Ray is just buying in more. This Celiacs need to be played with a hero power and just hope that something of it survives. But it seems like just Tempo managed, like even if he took 50 damage over 2 turns there and still managed to survive due to the fact that Joster doesn't basically have any more damage.
It all comes down to these last couple of draws, though. How Joster decides to play this next round. And then also what Tempo draws.
Yeah, because, well, you need to clear off this Celiacs, or else... Or you're not dead, but you're almost dead as long as you armor up. You need to clear up Celiacs and this dude, or both. That's an Omega Devastator, though, which means he has the opportunity to clear.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be able to clear, and this is...
With the Omega Assembly as well, he will maybe get some other mechs, like a Spark Plug or something like that, to even clear like that. But just using this Omega Assembly here, along with hitting with the Dynamatic in, will kill this Celiacs.
Ooh, and another Clockwork Goblin.
That's another buff card here, Beryllium Nullifier. So, getting up to 4 health. And then we see this Omega Devastator just killing off the Celiacs one by one. Even using Shield Slam, just not giving Joster any kind of health gain, and just, well, your turn. I know, like, you don't have any damage left in hand, and Joster is noticing that as well. Like, he can Shrink Ray hero power, but that just denies the inevitable, and throws out the well played, and it's GG. First round goes to Tempo here with the Bomb Warrior, even after taking 50 damage from Double Holy Wrath.
Yeah, that was really well executed there by Tempo. Definitely understood what this matchup had to be played in terms of the difference in play style that was required from the Bomb Warrior against that OTK Paladin. Really expertly done, and it's going to give him an advantage going into the next round.
Yeah, like as we said, like Joster has a tech deck that is meant to beat Warrior with the Undertaker and like mechanical webs and everything like that. So it's like a Immortal Prelate deck. But the double silence coming in from Tempo here might just seal this out because, well, he needs to play a little bit differently. Now he was very patient, just armored up every time. But looking at Joster's deck there, he moves Holy Wraths to get this package up. So instead of actually having an OTK, he has just a unlimited board.
Yeah.
The thing though that you can just die to a lot of pressure from the Warrior, that's why they have to balance now going forward here.
I like this, though. We saw a similar iteration of Joster's deck lists when we were doing Battle Riff. And what was really interesting about that and following that around is that if the primary OTK didn't work, then you had the secondary deck list that had that
inevitability. Yeah, but by Undertakers, basically an inevitability that just, well, every turn you have a big board that's possible to just kill you.
And you can see already Joster switched over to the secondary deck.
Yeah.
You see the Undertaker right there. So you
the
know that
Baleful
there's
Banker.
there. And an EMP operative, though, that actually gives us quite a bit of information about what Tempo is running.
Yeah, he's running this Searcher deck, which is the double silence, double EMP operative, which is like Mech Hunter and Death Rattle Hunter is one of the decks that preys on Bomb Warrior.
Yeah.
And EMP and Silence basically is able to shut down that kind of deck. And that's probably why you bring it. But fortunately for him, you also managed to tech out for Paladin in the same way. So that's a great tech choice there for the tertiary deck.
Awkward start for Joster, though.
Yeah, no Christology.
Yeah. That's the best turn one that you could ever hope for, but
draw two. Yeah. Joster here, though, can play this differently, though. He doesn't need to go as fast. Because, well, his plan isn't to OTK him with Shrivala and Holy Wrath. His plan is to just grind it out with tons of mechanical whelps, just respawning from the Undertaker over and over again. So going forward here, like draw isn't that important. It's important, but not that important. There comes an Eternium Rover for Tempo as well. Basically sealing in the deal here. Getting some board presence and being able to clear off these tokens here. He has like a decent sized hand here with Wrench Caliber and Militia Commander to be able to answer any threat that comes. And with the EMP operative as well, he can clear the first part of the whelp and just EMP it, the big part when that might occur.
I kind of like an Acolyte of Pain play here.
Getting more resources into hand is never bad, though. Coining out True Silver as well deals with this.
It does. It would devalue it a lot.
Yeah. And you have like Prismatic Lens, and you have like a lot of draw in hand, so it's not necessarily... It goes with the coin Prismatic Lens, though. Decides that these cards might be more important.
Well,
the Baleful
roulette,
Banker
but again! I feel like Joster's been getting a little unlucky there with the increase to the Baleful Banker.
It's not that crucial here. Oh, it's actually quite crucial, actually, because...
I was going to say, I think that matters a lot.
Yeah, because you can't do the same turn on the Undertaker with this. And you want to shuffle in an Undertaker because you know there's silence. And if it's silence and kills it, it's gone. So you need this second Baleful Banker to not get reduced or get increased in mana cost here.
Yeah, that's not going to be super great here, but...
Seeing for Joster, though, sitting with 4 mana, he has a lot of 4 mana options, as we historically know Paladin has. Just battling out with all these weenie minions from the warrior side here. There's not much else going on here. This EMP operative is just going to stay in hand, even though it's a perfect play on curve. Tempo is still doing the same game plan, though, just armoring up every turn he can. Even though this could be a good turn to play like a Wrench Caliber. That's the second Baleful Banker, though. That means you can get this double Undertaker. But he's running into hand size issues as well. Like using this Prismatic Lens, for instance, here would just make him overdraw a card. And next turn is probably going to be Mechanical Whelp to start stacking those Death Rattles.
I almost kind of want to see Tempo go for some of that bomb pressure. I know part of the play is to wait till the deck is thinned out a little bit more to ensure some of that damage hitting face.
It's also the fact that if you wait longer, the Paladins often use their healing cards for draw, and then they can't heal out of the bomb damage. Because if you bomb damage early, then you can heal back up. Like Joster was forced here to use his Flash of Light, basically giving him less healing than he can in total here.
Have both copies of Baleful Banker and both copies of Equality now.
So he's getting something here. Like Tempo's game plan so far has just been armoring up every turn, and he's probably going to continue doing that till Time Memorial here.
It's safe.
Yeah, it's safe. It gives him all the things he needs. That Celiax is picked up. That's also a source of healing here, especially along with these whelps. But this Mechanical Whelp is going to come down and be able to start wreaking some havoc. Even though we see Tempo has an EMP operative, being able to shut down the big one. Also, these Omega Devastators, if you wait a few more mana, will be able to shut down any form of whelp play that might come.
Tempo's been really patient.
Yeah, Tempo's really, really patient. Like, I would love to see like the Wrench Caliber equipped. We had 4 mana left over after Hero Power last turn.
Right, but that's what we were just talking through. You know, it's like...
Yeah, but just equipping it and having it ready for instance, this... Or just playing out a Tempo Militia Commander earlier So you can actually trade into a Whelp and then EMP Operative. You can, of course, trade in here and use a Shield Slam, and then you also fit in a Hero Power, which is good. But having it on board from before would also be a nice addition here. But yeah, seeing as you're at 15 armor, killing a 7/7, it shouldn't be that hard with Shield Slam. Here comes Christian Smith Kangor here. Like the Undertaker now, you also need to wait because you need an Immortal Prelate to show up soon, and you also need to wait for 10 mana to Baleful Banker in the Undertaker.
Undertaker right now, though, doesn't get too much value.
No, it's only a Mechanical Whelp in. And Joster is in the same pickle as he was last game, though. The hand is so full, but a lot of the cards just...
He's got 10 cards in hand right now.
You can't really play... there's not a good play on any of the cards at the moment.
Yeah, so you can see him really weighing out his options here because none of them are optimal at the moment.
Like playing the Celiacs and the Hero Power, just, okay, you remove a card and then you're in the same situation next turn. Playing out this Acolyte of Pain means that you have a huge chance of actually overdrawing some of the key cards, like Immortal Prelate.
Tempo would absolutely punish that play.
And using stuff like Equality and stuff could be important for later because this board from Warrior, like a lot of people, well, Warrior is a control class, Bomb Warrior is a control deck. No, Warrior, if it really wants, could be a really high tempo, aggressive deck. And then you might need those tools like Equality to actually clear out stuff. There's an Elec though.
That's good.
Yeah, that means more bombs in deck if you want.
We didn't see him need that in the last game here, but this sets him up really well for the end game.
Yeah, you could go a 6 bomb turn if you want because there's no weapon removal in your opponent's list. You can just prime the Wrench Caliber the turn before. The Elec is a good card.
No, it's a great card, especially if you can get that combo off.
So it looks like he wants to play this Darius Crowley to put a lot of pressure on board. Killing off the Celiacs, and then setting up a 6/3. Basically, well, you need to trade in this with this True Silver. You can't just keep on holding on to this True Silver for forever. And
he might have to use the True Silver to clear.
Yeah.
You can afford to take that 6 damage, so...
You can, of course, afford it, but it's like you wanted to use it for maybe other stuff or setting up like the extra 4 damage for like last game. He was 2 damage off lethal, and 1 extra True Silver charge going face would have sealed the deal there. Crystology is picked up though, meaning he can draw some of those cards he needs, but there's still it draws 2 and you're at 10 cards, so you kind of need to get some stuff out of the hand first.
Well, Joster doesn't have to worry about saving the charges for the True Silver either. Did remove both copies of Holy Wrath for this secondary version of the deck. And
yeah, so there's no burst going on in this deck. This isn't the OTK Paladin. This is the Undertaker Paladin.
Yes, absolutely. But I like that. I like that about the Paladin class, that you can change the entire flavor of the deck just by removing a couple of cards. Allows for a little bit more consistency, especially within this Warrior matchup.
Yeah, that was something we saw like before Specialist was announced by Blizzard. It was a format in some small tournaments that were held that they called it something like one class thingy. Like Druid was one of the classes that did really well because you could basically play 3 different Druid decks in the Specialist lineup because of all of the cards being so good in what they do. Soup Ender coming down just to draw something out, and he decides to not even hit in because this 6 damage doesn't really matter in the long term. And this Soup Ender is actually contesting this Darius Crowley that has been equality.
I'm just looking at some of the options that Tempo has in hand right now.
Yeah, like the Omega Assemblies and the Omega Devastator. Like the Omega Assemblies you want to save to next turn anyway. The Omega Devastator has some merit to be played as a tempo tool, but it seems like Tempo's plan is not playing a tempo game. It's to just control everything and just win based off being favored.
Well, Joster 2, again, like a lot of the cards that he has right now are really unoptimal to play.
But here we see him switching gears though. Tempo just, well...
He sees it.
He sees the lines there. It's just like, well, I know what this deck's trying to do. Now I'm just going to be more aggressive and just, well, clunky for 9 this turn, shuffling in 2 bombs into the deck and continue on going.
It makes Joster continue to have to play an awkward game as well. I think that Tempo has kind of recognized at this point that Joster's really not playing optimally, meaning that there's something going on with his hand that is making him play that way.
Yeah, there's been a lot of the cards in Joster's hand has been there for several turns now.
Yeah.
And you're just playing out like a soup blender without drawing with it, without doing anything. So
exactly.
You can probably deduce that there's a lot of junk.
It's a little telegraphed.
Yeah.
A little bit telegraphed here.
And this is something that happens with this Paladin deck, though, because you have so much draw and you have so much situational card that, of course, these cards in the situation they're meant to are really, really, really strong.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't matter when, well...
That's just not the situation right now. I like, though, that we did see the True Silver hung on to for the moment.
That's an Immortal Prelate as well. That's an important card to draw into this Undertaker. He's probably going to play it out here. It also removes some of his hand size issues that he has, and it puts it into the Death Rattle pool of the Undertaker.
You have Crystology. You have a lot of card draw here. You mean, that Novice Engineer was really kind of dead in the hand until we did see the Immortal Prelate draw. And now Joster realizes that, like, yes, he can kind of start emptying his hand a little bit. But I think here as well...
With Crystology throwing nothing as well. Just trying to get it out of hand.
Just get it out.
Yeah, reducing Shivala. Get it out of hand. Now, though, we're going into the 10-mana turn. We have Omega Assemblies, we have Omega Devastators. There's no Dr. Boom or anything like that, so you might just see a Shieldbug trying to get Dr. Boom. No, he's trying to get the Omega Assemblies going. That's a missile launcher, though. Could clear off some of these minions if so wanted be. There's also the Beryllium Nullifier, which recently got buffed to a 4/6 instead.
It did.
Which is, like, it's not a huge buff, but it put some more pressure. It's not good enough to be included into the warrior list, but it makes it better to get it off Omega Assembly. Here we see, though, he's thinking of just using this Warpath here, just clearing off the board, not giving more healing with this Kangor.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and gaining even more armor here. Just really safing himself out there and gaining as much armor as possible. Continuing the plan on just, well, I'm going to outgain whatever kind of damage you can do over a few turns with the Undertaker and stuff like that. So Tempo is playing this exactly like a control matchup. He doesn't want to do anything that's not control oriented and just...
Well, it gives him a lot more agency, I think.
Yeah.
Moving into the later parts of the game, Tempo is going to have a lot of answers for the things he knows that are coming, like the Undertaker, like Shivala. There's a lot of extra healing, and he's started to get some of those bombs in the deck as well. Undertaker, though, will take at least 2 Death Rattles here. You've got Immortal Prelate and Mechanical Whelp. And Baleful Banker already out to ensure that you have a second copy. No silence yet.
Yeah, no silence readily available.
Oh,
picks it up just in the nick of time.
Tempo's going to be really happy about that. It will at least deny the first Undertaker, and it buys him some time as well to deny the second one.
Yeah, and this, like with this Omega Devastator as well, after the silence comes up, it just deals with this this Undertaker, and he puts a fair amount of pressure on board that needs to get answered for him. But what else can he follow this up with? Like, he's already seen inequalities. He knows there's lack of equalities left. There's only one. So he's safer in that regard.
The silence is going to be particularly important, though, if we see a second Immortal Prelate come out. Before we see that second Undertaker.
So here he removes, puts up a decent sized board, removes the minion as well, and just starts pushing. This is 9 damage on board as well, and you know it's already
3 bombs in deck now.
Yeah. So next turn could be a potential lethal with bombs there. That's the first bomb. Then we're down to 2, and then it's a Hammer of Wrath coming in.
Well, that'll be a really useful tool to deal with some of the damage on board here. You also have Consecration, you have what, Wild Pyromancer.
So you have the options to basically clear here if you so be, but that's a more passive turn here, and it might be exactly what Joster needs to do. This Prismatic Lens draws the Mechanical Whelp and a Shrink Ray.
A little bit, you know, devalued there.
That's a good combination though, because like Shrink Ray, usually the Shrink Ray turns, it doesn't matter that the Shrink Ray costs 6 or not. Doing the because like if you play it with Wild Pyromancer, you can still fit in a Hero Power and stuff like that. The Mechanical Whelp being 5 though is more crucial because it means you can fit in some more things than you can't with 6. Second Omega Assembly comes out. That's a Boom Reaver and some junk, but the Boom Reaver is a huge threat though, which you can put up. And Tempo here now is trying to draw through his deck because he needs to get some of the more powerful minions going. He needs to get his Boom, he needs to get his second, or the other Boom, the Boombot Boom, to get everything rolling here. And setting up this Copper Tail as well as a stealth at 4/4, that means, stealth means you can't get interacted with. That means you can set up a huge burst turn with these magnetic minions.
And you don't have equality anymore.
Yeah, so the only way to kill off this is the Shrink Ray. And that means you're out of most of the removal that you have available.
And that gets really devastating when you're looking at the rest of the minions that Tempo has in hand. That's just...
Yeah, you've seen 2 Omega Assemblies. That meaning, well, you usually can conduct, or you know what minions that the warrior plays. But the Omega Assemblies really can put out a lot of pressure. And we see here also from Tempo, he has a lot of like the high pressure minions. Well, here comes like the full turn here, using Shivala and Baleful Banker on the Shivala. Just to be sure to have an extra one for healing later. Heals up for 7.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's good. Oh, that's Dr. Boom, though.
That's what you want to see at this point in the game.
But is this the right turn to play him? That's the question.
I don't think so. I think you're worried a little bit more...
about this Shivala on board.
Yeah. I think you're a little bit more worried about Joster's board at this point in time.
And this is going to be a huge minion coming in with the magnetic here, clearing off the Shivala. Okay, healing him up to 30 again, and just pushing 8 instantly, and then another 1 with the missile launcher. That's a lot of damage. That's a minion that's also hard to remove. Yeah, of course, Shrink Ray does it, but do you want to use a Shrink Ray on basically... This is like not even a card, because both of them are from a Mega Assembly. That's like 2/3 of a card.
Yeah, this was not what you were expecting to have to use Shrink Ray for either.
So playing out like something like this timeout could be something Joster is considering now because of, well, just buying an extra turn. But no, just removing it as soon as possible, playing out this Acolyte of Pain to be able to maybe draw a little bit more, get the second Undertaker in the way before the second Silence gets picked up. But that's just a perfect cue for Dr. Boom Mad Genius. No pressure on board, and you can just play him out.
Got Blast Shield available as well, so you know you're going to get the extra sustain, and that brings us up to a total of 3 bombs yet again for the deck. Second
That's
Undertaker.
The second Undertaker and an Immortal Prelate.
I feel like you wait, though. Wait and play the Mechanical Whelp.
Well, I guess you can. You don't need to, though, because this will get filled up with the 2 Mechanical Whelps in it due to how it works. Because it only... no, we got Silence last time, yes. It's only Mechanical Whelp on the Prelate. Now with the Lifesteal as well. Can we see the second Silence from Tempo, though? That's an EMP Operative. That's not a Silence. Like, you can't clear this with, like, Celiax and EMP Operative. But that just delays the problem for 1 more turn. Or for the next Undertaker to calm down. But he needs to draw his second Silence really soon.
Okay, then.
There's no good way, though.
That's like Celiax EMP Operative. It's the only way to like really clear this off. The problem is, yeah, well, it sets up a decent-sized board and everything. The thing is, you can't really get rid of this Undertaker.
Well, what I was going to say is that the Undertaker really needs to die in order to get additional copies. You use both Baleful Bankers at this point. That's exactly what's going to happen, though. So we will see the Undertaker go back into the deck.
And this EMP operative just killing off the 7-7. Joster sitting here like, well, maybe I should just play another Undertaker. This next Undertaker is going to be bigger though. It will have double the death rattles. Meaning if we get another Immortal Prelate with 2 mechanical whelps in it now, so it will be even bigger when it finally gets removed. There's 9 damage on board though, 3 bombs in deck. There's not that much left in the deck for Joster though, so we might just see Tempo going for the bomb play here, just trying to kill him right now, because he doesn't have a silence unless this shield blocks picks it up. And that card is a Blast Master. Boom!
Get full value from that though, because there are 3 bombs in the deck currently. But you do have 2 of those slots on board being taken up by these beefy minions.
So there's... like, you can heal this Paladin up to 29 if you want. Just trade in this Clockwork Goblin. Play the Blast Master Boom. And just go all in with the Boom Bots and just put him down a lot. Like, the Boom Bots represents a lot of damage. They can do up to 4 damage per bomb. Straight to face if you want that. Place it before, though. I might try to snipe this Immortal Prelate.
I think he's just
smorking.
Just going for it.
It's like, yes, you can heal 8 next turn. What you gonna do? I have
a lot of damage.
And well, that's the Shivala though. That's even more healing. That means you have 15 healing available and a timeout, meaning you can't take any face damage next turn here.
That's gonna feel really good here.
There's like the option to go like Wild Pyromancer timeout, just to get rid of all of this junk as well, if he really wants to. Wow, this is a lot of back and forth there, and not drawing the second silence also for Tempo means that he has issues clearing this Undertaker, and as longer this goes on, the Undertaker just gains more and more death rattles and gets scarier and scarier.
Gonna clear the Clockwork Goblin first. I like that.
Yeah, the Shivala can deal with the boom. You heal up to basically full.
You can clear the whole board with
like Wild Pyromancer timeout.
I almost think you do the Wild Pyromancer timeout first. Mechanical Whelp also can help a lot.
It is soaking up a lot of the bombs.
Yeah.
It empties your hand though, but since your deck is so small at the moment, it also gives you...
You need that. It's good because you're getting
the Undertaker
Undertakers back and back and back. And that's exactly what you want to see in this part of the game.
Here we go. The explosions go off. Some go to phase, and that's perfect because you're immune, so that doesn't matter. And the Shivala comes in to clear off the boom.
Perfect.
Tempo here in quite the trouble here now. Staring down a large board. Not much of AoE removal here. Another Wrench Caliber doesn't do much.
You can put some more bombs in the deck.
Like, you can of course... You are at 70 health, meaning like even if this is a ton of damage, it doesn't kill you. With 26 damage going in, can go straight to your face, but that's basically a 3-turn clock because you have so much armor.
Yeah, you need a way to deal with it, and we're not seeing that here. Unfortunately, part of the changes that we saw from moving to the tertiary deck is we removed the only copy of Brawl.
Yeah, so there's no way to remove a big deck, and that's why this silence, picking up this silence really, he has like a few more turns to pick up the silence, because the next Undertaker, if that doesn't get silence, is probably done with. Seeing here though for Tempo here, playing the Boom Reaver to get some sort of that's the second silence, but that's just a copy. That doesn't silence anything. It shows to Joster that the second silence is still in his deck, but you need something to just clear off as much as possible there. Clearing off the Shivala, clearing off some of the minions here just to be able to not take too much damage going forward. That's the Consecration though. Gives you the ability to just, well, I don't care about this boom, I can just push 9 damage
I think you just... I almost kind of want to see the Mechanical Whelp do the value trade here.
Yeah, and get 2 7/7s on board. Sounds like a higher pressure play. Even saving the Consecration for something else. Like it's 2 damage burst for 4 mana. That's not good.
Not great.
But it's something.
Something, but I do think that it's important that Joster holds on to it for what is left.
So here we see another Clockwork Goblin though. problem is like Joster is at 30 health now. Like the Wrench Caliber and the Clockwork Goblin puts in 2 more bombs. That puts us up to 5 bombs. That's not lethal. It's close.
We have 1 more Alec in the deck at the moment as well. Plus the silence that we saw get drawn a little bit earlier.
Yeah, so there's some options here for Tempo. He can use the second the EMP operative here to just lessen some of the damage going in if he so pleases. But he's still at 66. So like this 14 damage. 14 damage is usually half your health pool. For Tempo, it's a quarter. So it's not that bad. But using the second EMP operative here, along with the Clockwork Goblin to clear off everything and taking back board with the 3-3. Joster, though, he needs to pick up this Undertaker. And that's a bomb. That's not an Undertaker. See, that's the second bomb. That's a third bomb. That's a fourth bomb. And that's a flash of light. Ooh, but the flash of light can is not in a good position right now.
I think that is all of the bombs.
That's the Undertaker though, can instantly play down here because, well, he knows that this is in a dangerous position here now. Tempo, though, needs this Spellbreaker to be able to finally shut down this Undertaker that's been wreaking havoc on him. Warpath is not the answer here. You just have to go with the full Smork plan now?
I think you almost have to. So this Wrench Caliber is going to get equipped more than likely.
The problem with that plan, though, is, well, yeah,
You wish you had the Alec, really, because look how thin Joster's deck is at the moment, and you really do need that silence. The silence can come, though, at some point. It's right there.
Yeah, the problem is, like, if this silence doesn't come very, very soon, when the next Undertaker dies, it's basically a full board of 7/7s. And you can't afford to remove, or you can't really remove a full board of 7/7s without a brawl. So Tempo is in a bit of a tempo problem here. Just doing the most damage he can, though, with his Wrench Caliber, with the Kaboom Hero Power. Hitting face for as much as possible, putting his opponent down to 7, putting in another bomb into the deck here, and...
It's just...
Is it enough? It's instantly drawn off the top there, putting Joster down to 2. And that's the last card in the deck. That's an Immortal Prelate.
Yeah, there was only 1 bomb.
The problem, though, for Joster is that he has no ways to shuffle in this Undertaker. He can't kill it. And he wants to kill it because he gets a full board. He gets to play it one more time next turn. He heals, of course, for 8, putting up to 10. So you need to kill this 3/3, or else you will take too much damage and die. So...
Yeah, there are a couple of ways right now. There are a couple of cards Tempo really needs to see. It's either the second Augmented Alec or the second Silence. Both of which are still buried in the deck right now, but the deck is thin. So the chances of drawing one of those cards is very, very high.
Very high, yeah. And you also have something like the Rusty Recycler for stalling a turn, if he wants that. He has the Warpath to clear off some stuff if he needs to be. There's also the fact that this Discover from the Discovery Drone here for the hero power from Dr. Boom can just win him the game on the spot because, well, Joster's at 10. He's no way to get more cards. It takes 2 damage next turn. No, 1 damage next turn for Fatigue.
1.
Because he didn't take Fatigue for the Immortal Prelate here. And it might just be the way that Tempo wins. Just don't play any minions. Because you can take this 8 a lot of the time for a lot of turns. And then you just, when it happens, just kill him.
Ooh.
None of these cards do...
They don't do any burst damage, so it's not quite what Tempo was looking for. And the Acolyte of Pain off the top 2 is not what you want to see in this situation.
Yeah, saving this Wrench Caliber, just hitting... You're getting hit with 8, though, and your opponent heals for 8. That's the problem.
He has a really important decision to make here. Do you hold on to the last charge of the Wrench Caliber? I think you do in this situation here.
Or you just kill it with Warpath with this.
Yeah, I think you have to remove it from the board.
Yeah, because then you deny 8 healing for 1 turn.
There's Shield Slam.
Yeah,
Again,
you're not dead from this.
4 whelps, though. You really hate to see that.
And then you get one more turn of... So the Undertaker doesn't heal anything more this turn. This means that the Undertaker gets played. But the second Light Force Blessing, though, is played with it, meaning you heal, Joster heal for 7. He is holding on for that for a long time, and this Twin Spell card has been huge here.
Well, it's been particularly good within this matchup, which is why it is an added card.
Yeah, because it gives so much extra healing here. But the Elec draw now will not do anything. So we see here, that's out of cards, that's the Elec. That means you can have 2 bombs there. There's the Silence. But is it too late? You can Omega Devastator and Silence at the same turn.
You have to. So I would say you need to silence the Undertaker, and then you can use Omega Devastator to deal with the lifesteal damage that's left on board from one of those mechanical whelps. And you have enough armor at the moment
to survive, yeah.
Yeah, but the next couple of turns...
You need a way to clear out this, and you're starting to take fatigue as well now, because this list, one of the things it has been removed is, of course, this Archivist Elysiana, meaning you can't go long.
Yeah, there's no way to replenish after you've hit that fatigue mark.
So this Spellbreaker coming down on the Undertaker.
Your magic shall not.
This coming down there, you can hero power, and you can also kill off the Undertaker with the hero power and the rushed Omega Devastator, leaving up 14 damage on board, and no way for Joster to really come back here. Joster, though, taking 1 fatigue, trying to calculate now how he should go forward here, because, well, next turn he is dead unless he kills off this Spellbreaker with the Augmented Elec. We'll shuffle in 2 bombs, it's 10 damage, you do 3 damage to face.
Reporting for duty.
So the next fatigue is 2 tick, meaning with the 3 damage hit from the weapon, the Elec and everything, Tempo takes the game. In a long, grueling game, because the Spellbreakers was in the bottom of the deck, and this is just great display of skill here from Tempo and from Joster. Though Joster really risked everything, because well, he knows that the earlier he plays stuff out, the less chance there is the Spellbreaker. And we see here now with the fatigue damage going in there, Joster is down in a matchup that is hard for this Paladin. The thing is, though.
There's only 2 warriors.
There's only 2 warriors.
The entirety of the qualifiers. So I definitely think that Joster's going to have a chance to come back from this one as well. He was very unfavored in this matchup, but he was still a good pilot of the deck.